Ladies and gentlemen, tonight at the Dunkelflaute Café, David Lawrence and Frida Weekly are going to discuss desertification risks and wind farms.
All right, everybody, welcome back for another deep dive. And today we're going to be tackling something that, honestly kind of caught me off guard when I first started reading about it.
Oh, yeah.
Seems like kind of a no-brainer in terms of renewable energy. It's clean, it's green, and But some of the research you sent over about the local impacts, especially when we're talking about desertification risk, well, that has me thinking twice.
Yeah, absolutely. You hit the nail on the head,
Let's definitely unpack that. I think the first thing that really threw me for a loop was this study, Climatic Impacts of Wind Power by Miller and Keith. I mean, they're basically saying that extracting energy from wind can actually increase temperatures right there on site. Like, how does that even work?
Right. It seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? But think about it this way. Those massive turbine blades, they're not just sitting there passively. They're interacting with the atmosphere. And in a way, they're almost like giant whisks.
Okay, whisks. I like that analogy.
Yeah. So they end up disrupting the natural mixing of warm and cool air, especially at night. You get this layer of cooler air near the ground. But these turbines, they push the warmer air from above down, and that can bump up nighttime temperatures.
Okay, so they're basically mixing everything up.
Yeah.
And how much warmer are we talking here?
Well, it depends on the size of the wind farm and the height of those turbines. But we're talking an increase of 1 to almost 2 degrees Celsius.
A degree or two.
But even that small change can have a big impact when you're talking about desertification. Remember that map you sent me?
The one from the Sardinian Agrometeorological Service.
Exactly. That highlights the areas that are already vulnerable. And adding even a little extra heat to the mix, well, it's like pouring gasoline on a fire.
Okay, so we've got this temperature increase. So how does that actually lead to desertification? What's the science behind that?
Well, there are these indexes that scientists use to assess the risk of desertification. One is the Bagnouls-Gaussen Index, or BGI, and it looks at the ratio of rainfall to potential evapotranspiration.
Evapo what now?
Evapotranspiration. Basically, how much water evaporates from the soil and from plants.
Oh, okay. Gotcha.
So higher temperatures lead to more evaporation, which means less moisture for plants and drier soil more prone to erosion. Kind of like when you bake a cake, if you crank up the oven temperature, it dries out faster. Right.
So it's like we're baking the earth with these wind farms.
Yeah.
And it's not just the BGI, right? There are other ways to measure this.
Exactly. There's also the Hargreaves-Samani method, which also uses average monthly temperature as a key factor. So even a small but consistent temperature increase can really push up that desertification risk.
So it's not just about how dry a place is, but how much hotter it's getting because of these wind farms. Wow.
Yeah, it's a real dilemma. And what's even more concerning is that this desertification risk doesn't seem to be getting enough attention in the planning of these renewable energy projects.
So they're not really factoring this in.
And that's a problem because it could undermine all the efforts that are already underway to combat desertification in places like Sardinia and elsewhere. I mean, who would have thought that wind power could actually make some places hotter and drier?
Well, that's why we do these deep dives, right?
Absolutely. Got to keep digging deeper.
Thanks again for all your insights. And to everyone listening out there, keep those questions coming. We'll keep exploring these complex issues together. Until next time.
See you then.
Bye.